There are three changes coming for seniors in June of 2026. Three changes that you and every American over the age of 65 need to know about. They could put real money back in your pocket, not next year, not when you turn some other age. Some of them could start working the same week you hear about them. I want to be direct with you before we go a single sentence further, because there is something I hear constantly that makes me want to pull my hair out. Careful, honest, hardworking seniors are losing hundreds of dollars every single month. They are losing money on bills they never legally owed. They are leaving money on the table they earned a long time ago, and they do not know it is happening. Nobody sat them down and explained the rules. Nobody walked them through the forms, and the system certainly is not going to tell them on its own. People hear a video like this and they sort themselves into one of two groups. The first group is the comfortable retiree. They have some savings. Their bills are paid. They figure these programs are for someone in worse shape than they are. They click away. The second group is the fixed income senior. They live mostly on their Social Security check. They have heard so many times that the good programs are for someone else that they stopped listening altogether. They click away too. I want you both to stay, because every single one of these three changes helps the comfortable retiree, and every single one of them helps the fixed income senior. The dollar amounts are different. The paperwork is different, but the underlying rule is identical for both groups. The system keeps collecting until you act, and acting starts with knowing what changed. My name is Michael Hartwell. I have spent the last 14 years working as a senior benefits advisor. My entire practice is built around one narrow thing. I help Americans over the age of 65 find money the system has been quietly collecting from them or quietly failing to send them. I have walked hundreds of families through these exact rules. I have seen the same pattern repeat itself over and over and over again. The people who need the help most are almost never the people who knew to ask for it. That is what today is about. I am going to walk you through all three changes coming in June 2026. Real numbers, real examples from real people I have worked with, real fixes you can do yourself this week if you want to. All three are legal, all three are active, and all three have a clear step-by-step action. But I need you to understand one thing before we start. Being legally entitled to a benefit and actually receiving it are two completely different things. There is a gap. That gap is information. Every one of these three changes sits exactly inside that gap. June 2026 is when the written rules update. It is not when the money appears in your account. The system does not hand this back to you automatically. Every single dollar we talk about today continues to be withheld, continues to be taxed, continues to be charged to your bill until you know the change exists and you take the action. Now let me show you exactly what I mean. Here is the first change. And this one is the one I see hurt the most people every single month without them knowing it. Change number one, a major update to how much federal tax gets withheld from your Social Security check. Starting in June 2026, the Social Security Administration will accept a much simpler version of the W-4V form. That is the form retirees use to tell the government how much to withhold from their monthly check. The old version was confusing. It asked questions that did not match the life of a retired person. Most people who filled it out years ago picked the wrong amount. Many picked no withholding at all and then owed a tax bill in April. Many picked the maximum 25% and have been overpaying for years. The new version's short and it fits on one single page. It asks 3 questions. It gives you 4 simple choices. And critically, you no longer need to walk into a Social Security office to submit it. You can do it entirely online in about 15 minutes. Let me show you what this has looked like in practice for real people. I worked with a man named Frank Russo from Tampa, Florida. He was 72 years old. He had retired 7 years earlier from his job as a warehouse supervisor. When he retired, he walked into the Social Security office. He asked the person behind the counter how much he should have withheld. They handed him Form W-4V. They told him to pick a percentage. He picked 15% because he did not want to owe anything in April. For 7 straight years, Frank and his wife had 15% of every Social Security check withheld out and sent to the IRS every month. 12 checks a year. Roughly $4,800 a year they did not actually owe. Their combined retirement income was about $52,000 a year. Their actual tax liability was close to zero. They were eligible for a long list of credits and deductions specifically designed for seniors over 65. But because Frank had never updated the W-4V after that first visit, the government kept taking money out of his check that it never needed. We filed the new simple form. We picked the right withholding level for their actual income. His next check was $178 higher every month, 12 months a year. That is $2,136 back in his pocket for the rest of his retirement. And the only action he took was filling out one page and submitting it online. This is why June 2026 matters, because the simplified W-4V is rolling out, and every senior who has been withholding at the wrong level for years finally has an easy path to fix it. One page, 3 questions, 15 minutes. And the answer could be more than $100 a month for the rest of your retirement. Here is what to do. Go to ssa.gov, search for the W-4V form, download the new June 2026 version, pick the withholding level that matches your actual income, sign it, submit it online through your My Social Security account. Your next check will reflect the change. It takes about 15 minutes and it could be worth hundreds of dollars a year. Change number 2 affects a different silent leak. And this one surprises even the comfortable retiree every single time I bring it up. It is the Medicare premium surcharge, the extra charge the government adds on top of your regular Medicare Part B premium. Most seniors over 65 have never heard of it. Most seniors over 65 are paying it. Here is how it works in plain language. Medicare charges a base premium. For most people in 2026, that base premium will land around $185 a month. But Congress added a rule years ago. If your income was high 2 years ago, they charge you more. The rule is called IRMAA. That stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. All it really means is an extra charge. The extra charge goes up as your income from 2 years ago goes up. If your income from 2 years ago was very high, you can be paying $400 a month, $500 a month, even more for the exact same Medicare coverage as your neighbor. Now here is where June 2026 changes everything. Starting in June, Medicare is rolling out a simplified life change event form. This is the form you file when something big happens in your life. Retirement, death of a spouse, divorce, major drop in income. In the past, filing this form was a nightmare. The paperwork was long, the proof documents were confusing. Most people gave up halfway through and just kept paying the surcharge. The new process keeps the same legal rule, but the form itself shrinks to 2 pages. The proof requirements shrink to a small set of clear choices. And critically, the new form lets your doctor or financial advisor certify the change in writing. That means millions of recent retirees whose income dropped the day they stopped working can finally get their premium reset to where it should be based on what they actually earn now. Let me tell you about Patricia Donnelly from Scranton, Pennsylvania. She was 67 years old. She had retired from her job as a hospital administrator 18 months before we spoke. Her Medicare premium was $478 a month. Her husband, Walter, was on the same plan, and they were both paying it. Their total monthly Medicare bill was close to $1,000. The reason was her income from 2 years ago. The year before she retired, Patricia earned $186,000. Her husband earned $74,000. Their combined income on paper was over $250,000. Medicare looked at that number and charged them the highest surcharge tier based on it. They had been paying it for 18 months, even though their actual current income dropped to about $86,000 a year in retirement. We filed the new simplified life change form. We attached her retirement letter. We attached her first 1099 showing her new pension amount. We submitted it through the Medicare online portal. 6 weeks later, her premium dropped from $478 a month to $196 a month. Her husband's dropped to the base rate. Their combined monthly savings were right around $430. Over the course of a year, that is more than $5,000. Over the course of an entire retirement, it can be tens of thousands of dollars. And all Patricia did to recover that money was fill out a 2-page form that took her less than half an hour. Here is what to do. If you retired in the last 3 years and your Medicare premium jumped up, go to Medicare.gov and search for the Life Change Event form. Print the new June 2026 version. Fill it out. Attach proof of your retirement or income drop. Submit it online. You should hear back within 60 days. If you do not get a response, follow up. That phone call could be worth hundreds of dollars a month for as long as you are on Medicare. Change number 3. This one is built into law all the way at the federal level, and it finally fixes a silent injustice that has been punishing seniors for decades. It is the automatic property tax relief enrollment rule. Here's the problem in plain language. Almost every state has some form of senior property tax relief. Senior freeze, senior exemption, circuit breaker, homestead credit for seniors. The names change by state, but the structure is the same. If you are over 65 and you live in your own home, you can get part of your property tax bill erased or frozen. In some states, the savings are hundreds of dollars a year. In other states, they are thousands. But here is the rule that hides this from everyone. Almost every one of these programs is opt-in. You have to apply. You have to file a form. You have to do it before a deadline. You have to reapply every single year in some places. And if you do not do that paperwork, you do not get the relief. The county keeps charging you full price on your property tax bill, and you never know you were eligible in the first place. According to the National Conference of State Legislatures, more than 92% of seniors who qualify for these programs never claim them. Out of roughly 18 million eligible American seniors, fewer than 1.5 million actually receive the relief each year. The other 16.5 million are writing a check every year to their county tax collector for money the law says they do not owe, and they do not even know they are doing it. The June 2026 change is specifically designed to fix this. New federal guidelines now require every county tax assessor in the country to send an automatic notice to every homeowner over 65 who appears eligible for any property tax relief program. The notice has to arrive by April of each year. It has to explain exactly which programs the homeowner qualifies for. It has to include a one-page application. And if the homeowner signs the application and returns it within 60 days, the relief goes into effect for that tax year automatically. This is a massive shift because for the first time, the system has to come to you. You no longer have to know the rule in advance. You no longer have to find the form on the county website. You no longer have to know that your state has a senior exemption you never heard of. The county has to tell you, and if you sign and return the form, you get the relief. I want to share one story that I think will land for you. Bill Kerrigan from Phoenix, Arizona was 78 years old. He had lived in the same house for 43 years. He had raised his 3 daughters there. His wife had passed away 4 years earlier. He was on a fixed income of about $42,000 a year. His property tax bill that year was $3,840. It was eating him alive. He had started to worry he might have to sell the house. When we sat down together, we discovered he had lived in Arizona for his entire adult life. He qualified for 3 separate senior property tax programs. None of them had income limits for veterans. He was a Vietnam veteran. He qualified for a 100% property tax exemption on the first $200,000 of his home value. He also qualified for the Senior Freeze program that locked his bill at the amount from 5 years earlier. He also qualified for a small homestead credit. Bill had never applied for any of them. He had never received a notice about any of them. He had been paying full property tax on his home for 23 years. After we filed the new automatic notice response and his 3 applications, his property tax bill dropped to 0. He is no longer worried about selling the house. The money he has saved over the rest of his retirement will likely exceed $80,000. Here is what to do. Watch your mailbox every April starting in 2026. When you get the notice from your county tax assessor, read it carefully. Even if you think you do not qualify, sign the form and return it. The worst case is you filled out 1 page. The best case is your property tax bill drops by hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year for the rest of your life. Now let me tie everything together. Across all 3 of these changes, there is one single pattern that I want you to remember. In every single case I just described, the money does not come back to you unless you act. The simplified W-4V form does not reduce your withholding unless you submit the new version. The Medicare Life Change form does not drop your premium unless you file it. The property tax notice does not apply the exemption unless you sign and return it. The system is not designed to give this money back to you automatically. June 2026 is opening the door. You still have to walk through it. I have put together a free checklist that covers all three of these changes. Every form you need to file, every contact number you need to call, every deadline to watch, every action step laid out clearly so you can go through them one by one. It is called the June 2026 Senior Savings Checklist. You can get it completely free at seniorrelief2026.com. The link is right there in the description below this video. Print it out. Go through it this week. And now I want you to do one more thing for me. Think of one person in your life who is over 65. A parent, a sister, a neighbor, a friend from church. Send them this video. Not because they are struggling, not because they are in trouble, but because the odds are very good that they are paying at least two of these three bills right now for no reason at all. That one share might put thousands of dollars back in their account this year. That is what this channel is here for. If you are not subscribed yet, do that right now and hit the bell. Every time a rule changes that affects Americans over 65, I break it down exactly, what it means, who it helps, and exactly what to do about it. That is what this channel does. I will see you in the next one.